Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. All right, let's try this again. Welcome back to another Getting Project Done with me. We are going to continue our work on Yndrasta. Continue our work. We've already laid a bunch of color down. Last episode, we laid some yellows and a little bit of oranges onto the comet tails, pushing a bit of a non-metallic, true metallic look. We also laid the groundwork for the base. I just was getting tired of seeing that really shiny stone, so I just to help me with my visualization of, basically how it's all going to look with the metals and everything like that. And so, yeah. So basically, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get things started by painting the little orbs in the comet tails. Paint those like gemstones. Also there. I don't know if I'll do that one over here. I don't know. Something tells me not to bother. I think one side will be cool. I'm going to do them in an amber. So basically, we're going to do them in a darker brown, going to a yellow. As always, I'm in the Discord. Patrons are free to join me in the Discord. If we have time today, we might get to the swords or push some other things. Of course, I also want to take care of the scroll as well. And yeah, that's where we're at so far. Been enjoying this project so far. Been having a lot of fun. Any ideas what we should do this little central device that's where the two comet tails meet on her collar piece here? Any ideas what that should be? Should that be left chrome and then just pick out that little symbol? Or should we do something else? I don't know. I'm undecided. There's Kim. What's happening? What's happening, Kim? Yeah, I'm back on. Power went out. As anybody who follows me on Twitter will know. And I think also Epic Duck Mike. I think he also was in the range. So actually, the power went out for him as well, I believe. At least that's what it looked like, because I think he's streaming right now. And yeah. So I'm going to grab some ceramite white. Slappy-voo onto my palette. Probably a little too much, but that's okay. Grab that. Oh, I meant to change my rinse water. My rinse water is dirty. Dirty. Alright. Let's put ceramite white over there. Don't really need a whole lot of water on the brush. And let's get to work. Enough gum flapping for me. Yeah. And yeah, so we're just going to pick out the little orbs within the comet tails. Right around here. As some of the astute viewers may recall, this model was given a chrome and then given a gloss varnish. So we're painting pretty much right on top of a gloss varnish. The paint will stick for just fine, even though I have it thinned out like this. But this is one of the reasons why I like ceramite white, because it sits on top of surfaces very, very nicely and covers pretty evenly. Is it the best white in the game? Debatable. But it does the job that I want it to do, which is important, I think. Thin it down just a little bit more. There we go. It's a little bit runny, but that's fine, because I'm okay with building up multiple layers on a surface. Yeah, it's okay. We'll run into the recesses here. Because once we lay some darker color down, it'll be fine. It's probably a little too much paint. I'm just going to siphon out some of the excess color. So basically all I do is I just take my brush, dry it off, and then just siphon out the color. It's a little bit thin, but that's okay. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's all we're going to do, is we're going to work on some gemstones and see where else this project takes us. I was enjoying the contrast on the comet tails, and I'm toying with the idea of actually pushing the contrast a bit further on all the tails, just using like a deeper orange or even a brown, just to push contrast just a little bit more. Of course, I may save that for the weapons themselves, where we had laid down that amber color on the weapons themselves. We'll see. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. Again, I'm pretty much playing this entire project by ear, so it's not like I really have a huge plan involved, which is pretty much how I go about most of my paint jobs, especially to keep things interesting. I just, do whatever feels good, whatever feels right. Now the whole point of going over with the white first is because I am going to use yellow first, and then we're going to push the shadows. So we're going to do it in that kind of fashion. Does the other little orb need to be painted? I'm feeling like it doesn't, but who knows? Who knows? Do I have any of this Ricard flesh left? Not really. Might have to lay some more down. I think that was like a week ago we were playing with that Ricard flesh, so it should be dried out by now. I'm gonna give that those white a moment to dry, and yeah. But so far, I am very happy with where we're going with this whole model. I am liking it. I'm digging it, and I'm having fun. And it's not often that we have some fun. I don't think, anyway. It's not too often. But fun is fun. Fun is fun. I'm just taking a little bit more ceramite white, laying it on the surface here, just getting a nice smooth layer. Because I have the paint in such a thinned out fashion, it sits right on the surface, nice and smooth. Yeah, there we go. So like I said, we're going to do amber for these things. Because we've already laid out chrome on this, well, it was a gloss prime, chrome on a varnish layer, and now we've laid a layer of white. I really don't want to apply too many layers of paint, just because it can start to end up looking kind of chunky and thick. So basically I'm going to work in thin colors like inks and transparencies and things of that nature. And for that, you know what, let's bust out the golden transparencies. Have I used this golden yet? I have not. It still has its little seal on it. So I'm going to use this, or maybe I'll use the Proacryl. Should I use the golden or Proacryl? Oh, okay, let's use the Proacryl. Screw it. I don't think I've opened this yellow either, so I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out together if I've opened this or not. Nope, I have not. Still has its little seal on it. And I think that goes inside there. Does that stay inside there? We'll leave that inside there. Is there an easy tear? No? No. Oh, but it comes off the lid really nicely. Came off in one go. That's very rare. That's rare. Chuck that in the garbage. Then we'll have to throw this on the mixer for a bit. So yeah, we're going to use Pro-Acryl transparent yellow right on top of the white. Now, I have played a little bit with some of the transparencies from Pro-Acryl. They are very saturated, so I get the feeling that this is definitely going to have to get thinned down a bit. That's not really a huge issue. But if I used it straight from the bottle, I got the feeling that it would just be so intense that I'd have to put more layers on just to, like, you know, lighten it up and, you know, create the highlights and stuff. Versus if we just go with a straight up thinning of it, that we should be okay. Oh, it's got agitator in it. Nice. Despite even throwing it on my mixer, I'm still giving it a solid good shake. And I don't see any. I usually put the color up to the light to see if I can see. Yeah, you can see how there's like no sediment on the bottom. That's what I'm checking for whenever I'm doing this kind of stuff. Just to make sure I've got a good thorough mix, especially with these thin bodied colors. Always make sure you're thoroughly mixed. Although one thing that is kind of funny when using very thin bodied colors like this is if you use a vortex mixer, it does create a bit of a frothing, and so that kind of can be kind of annoying, but you know, what are you gonna do? All right, we'll put it over here. We'll put a drop or two over here. Probably don't need that much. It's actually fairly thick. Interesting. It flows a bit like golden. All right, let's grab just a little bit of water. Okay, well, the bristles are swollen. And let's, yeah, we'll just thin this down just a little bit with water. Yeah, this should be plenty good. It's a nice stark yellow. And basically, we're just going to hit the entirety of each of those little orbs. If I can help it, I'm going to push the color upwards so that it's lighter at the base and darker at the top. Or more saturated, I should say, not darker. Just like that. Do have to be mindful of how much color you're laying down. Give that a moment to dry. Did I lay too much down on this one? May have. Siphoning out some of the color. It's a little intense. But yeah. We'll do another layer. Kim was making some coffee. What'd I miss? Nothing. I'm just laying out some transparent yellow from Pro-Acryl. And we're laying that on top of ceramite white. And we're gonna create amber gems. So I'm starting with the yellow, and then I'm gonna push darker and darker tones into these stones. Or these orbs, whatever they are. I'm making them look like gemstones is basically what I'm doing. Oh, new follower. Yeti Bear. Thank you for the follow. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Friendly, friendly. So let's push a little bit more color. We'll start on this one up here. It is very vibrant. Not like a fluorescent, just nice, good, solid color. And of course, that doesn't depend entirely on, you know, how strong a white base you laid. So, yeah. All right. Give that another moment to dry. Kim, I like their transparency. They're much more pigment rich than contrast. Definitely. I mean, it's not a good comparison to compare the transparencies from Pro-Acryl with contrast paints. Different things. I mentioned in the previous video that these are transparent, but they're more like a translucent There is a light fastness to them. Even like the golden transparency, there is a light fastness to it. The more layers you lay down, the more opaque it will build. Versus using like clear colors, like perfectly clear colors, right? These lay down entirely different. And these can sit for a long time and you don't see any pigment separation. Versus these bottles, you do see pigment separation. And that's because there's a pigment there. Versus these, these were transparent to begin with, right? So yeah, it's not a criticism of it. It's just it's the nature of the paint. It almost looks like a fluorescent yellow on there almost though. Like you can even see as I pull the model away, you can see the yellow spots on it. Mind you though, I mean like the shadows on the chrome make the chrome look very, very dark. When in fact, like to my eyes, the whole thing is just shiny. I have to turn this camera like way down so that you can at least see what I'm doing. Because it's bright. It's shiny. Alright. Does Pro Rackwell have a sienna? Do they have a sienna? They have a transparent brown. Blue. Black. Orange. You know what? Maybe we'll do a little bit of orange. Ooh, do you want to play with complementary colors? Instead of going with a brown, okay, I think maybe I'll hit it with some orange to create a bit more of an amber. And then we'll finally do a bit of brown in there. But I was even thinking maybe we'd use a little bit of purple to knock that yellow and make it brown. Well, instead of like using an actual brown, we just use purple, and as you lay purple on top of yellow, it turns brown, right? So, but I don't know if it'll be dark enough. Yeah, see, like even as a transparency, like I can't even see through the bottle. See it through the bottom of the bottle? But I give this a shake, then we'll see through it. Yeah, I'm going to use amber or orange. Give it a thorough shaking. Pretty dense, but that's so far. But that's been my experience with these colors. Very, very vibrant, very, very saturated, and yeah, you do need to thin these down. Like when using them, especially if you're using them to change the values of colors, But that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Yeah, this color is very opaque. I don't even know if you can see the light poking through. Yeah, you can kind of see the light poking through. Yeah, it's pretty dense. I like that though. I mean, that's fine by me. I'd rather the color be really, really strong and have to thin down rather than not be strong enough, and even after doing a bunch of layers, not be strong enough. Know what I mean? Now, I have not used this one, so I am just undoing the little protector thingy, whatever. And I just flicked the goddamn cap and it just splurted orange color all over me. Nice. Nice. I got orange all over me now. Awesome. Perfect. That's what I want. That's what I like to do. I do that because I like it. It makes me feel good. Makes me feel like a big man. There, I'm just cleaning up my area a little bit here so I don't transfer color all over myself. All right. Kim, they're really nice for OSL glow. Yes, definitely. It looks like normal acrylic on the palette. Yeah, it does. It does look like normal acrylic. It doesn't look like a perfect transparency. It looks more like a translucent color. Yeah, see, like it flows like paint. It flows more like a paint, which is fine. again, it's not like a bad thing for the paint to act in a certain way. It's just as long as you know the paint, right? So, grabbing a very generous amount of water in the bristles. Let's take a little bit of you know what? Let's take a little bit of this orange, and let's just touch the yellow. Yeah, go for a really thinned out tone. Maybe a little bit more. More yellow. There we go. Yeah. That's the kind of color I'm looking for right there. So now, I just basically ran my brush through my towel, and let's push our deeper tones this way. So we're gonna imagine the light sourcing is more like to the upper right, more like the 1 or 2 o'clock position. So that's which direction we're going to build color. It's a little bit thin, but that's okay because we can build to the effect. Basically going to build to that particular look. So give that a moment to dry. We could hit that with the hair dryer, which I think I will. Now, I only want a little bit of orange quality in the stone. I'm not looking to push it too orange because I don't want that to conflict with the main silver and purple values that are going on. I want it to be more subdued. Subdued. So let's grab a little bit more of this mixture. Do another layer. To the camera, it probably looks like we're pushing very orange, but it's not. It's still very yellow feeling. Again, it'll probably feel more orange because as we push the values darker, that it'll start to feel more orange, but that's okay because we're gonna knock that out once we start laying in some darker browner tones to it. Again, the goal is to make them feel a little bit more amber. See, if you look at it from this direction, you can see it's more yellows. You read more yellows to it, right? Versus if you look more this direction, it feels very orange. And that's deliberate. Yeah, we'll do another layer. Another layer. And as I'm laying these shadow tones onto the gemstone, I'm basically trying to build more of a circular shape on each of the stones. Basically, like whenever if you do gemstones dark and then build the brightness, you build kind of a crescent shape. Versus if you start with the brightest tone and go darker, you want to build more of a circular shape so that what you see is more of a crescent shape, right? You all get it. You guys are all smart. You know the plan. on the bigger one, we actually have more opportunity to refine our transitions there. I am going to come back in with pure yellow though, because it looks like I missed some spots on the big stone. So I'm going to grab some pure yellow and lay that on the bottom. I suppose we could even wet blend this, right? If we're feeling really daring. I mean, normally I probably would just wet blend it, but whatever. All right. Yeah, it's not horrible. I think we still will have to come in and lay some highlight down on the yellow portions, but that's fine. And so, Kim, since you're here, let's get your input on something here. What should this little device be that is over her head on her collar, that the two tails touch? What should that be? Just left a chrome and then pick out the letters or whatever that symbol is? Or should that whole thing be a color with that glyph painted? Let me know. Because I have no idea if it should be like should that be painted in a yellows, or should it be an opaque color? Should it be left alone, left as silver? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I feel yet. I'm just going to grab some pure orange, and we're just going to push a slightly darker shadow into the upper portions. Yeah, this is starting to feel very orange now, which I don't want. Yeah. You see when you look at it that angle, it looks very orange as opposed to very yellow that side, you know. But that's okay. Because once we start hitting it with darker tones, it'll give it more of that that gemstone type of look. Kim, I am doing it in the same color as the armor, but I was thinking of maybe doing it in a glowing rune. So do the rune kind of glowing? Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking glowing runes, especially like on the spear tip. It has that similar rune. On her sword, it has a similar rune. And then I think the scroll work, the lettering in the scroll, I think we'll do same thing. So I think all the symbols will glow the same color. And I'm thinking probably like a purple glow. Just to maintain all the purpleness. Because once the cloak gets added, the purple tones will obviously read very well, I think. Yeah, it sounds great. Well, I'm glad you approve, Kim. I'm glad you approve. All right, so let's switch over to. I was thinking of using the purple, but I think I'll just use the brown. I'll give the brown a try. If it doesn't work, I can always paint over it and do another color. I don't think I've used this. I could use like a citadel color just because it is fairly thin and it has a little bit more leeway as far as transparency is concerned. But we'll use brown. I'm okay with that. Peel the cap off. And we'll give this a quick mix. Let's put that over here for a moment. Give this a quick mix. Quick mix. Oh, yeah. mixed. It's so dark I can't tell. I'm holding it up to the light right now and I can't tell if it's mixed. Again, these colors, these transparencies from Pro Acryl, they're pretty dense. Again, that's fine. You know, they feel a bit more like the old school Citadel inks. That's what they feel more like. Because they were pretty dense with color too. I'm not talking the shade washes, I'm talking the old school inks. I suppose we could have probably just busted out the inks, really. Alright, we are going to lay a little bit down on the brown. Of the brown, I should say. Yeah, we'll put it over here by the orange. Probably don't need that much, but whatever. Whatever. Let's grab a generous amount of water. Let's give this a little mix. Yeah, it's pretty darn good. Yeah. I like it. You know what? Let's take a little bit of orange. Yeah. I like it. Oof. Yeah, it doesn't take much to change that value again. Yeah. Okay. Pull some of the excess color out. And let's start pushing shadows. Do. Yeah, as soon as we start laying the brown down, it knocks a lot of that vibrancy out of the orange, which is good. I'm only looking for the hint of that orange. I don't want it to really feel like fiery orange. I just want it to just creep in that realm of orange. Just creep. Just be creepy. That's all I want, is the color to be creepy. Not a creepy color scheme, just to creep. That probably doesn't make any sense, but because again, I don't really want it to conflict with my purple and silver. The gold or the yellow accents are just to keep visual interest. Yeah, we'll have to come back in with a lighter yellow. Probably a yellow-white mixture, just to reestablish the highlights. But that's fine. Hit that with the hairdryer. It will go really saturated. Yeah, you can see now the orange isn't quite as intense. And we're going to keep pushing that brown until it's nice and dark. Yeah. course, on the big stone, I have quite a bit of this between color going on here. Yeah, we definitely have to come back over with the yellow, with an opaque yellow, just to reestablish that. Let's grab some pure brown this time. Probably should have changed my wet palette paper. It's okay. Starting to feel like an amber gemstone now. Starting to get there, isn't it? Starting to. More brown. If we felt really goofy, we could probably add a bit of black to it too. If we're feeling really goofy. I might be feeling goofy, actually. I might be. Oh, it's tempting. I want a darker brown. The brown is really good, but I get the feeling that I'm hitting the point where now it's just sitting on top and it's just giving me that same value and it's not building darker. So you know what that means. It means we're going to bust out the black. Let's use the Pro Aqua Black. Why not? There it is. Pull the little seal off because I don't think I've opened this one. Yep. There we go. Give us a nice thorough mix. Now this, yeah, we're probably not going to be able to tell if this is thoroughly mixed, but we will. We will. Give it a nice good shake. Kim, the amber comes in so many tones of orange and brown that it is not hard to get to, or it is not hard, or it's not too hard to get to the right tones. No. Yeti Bear. Okay, so you post 3 streams on YouTube the next day? No. I post these. I post these streams. Sorry, I thought it said 3 streams. No. On Twitch, I post this. This won't get posted to YouTube till next week. Yeah, this is. So if you want to stay current with the project, follow me on Twitch is the way to go. Otherwise, I post these on YouTube. Can I even see through this? No, I can't even see through this yet. I'm going to give it another spin on the mixer. Alright, just slap a little bit onto the palette. Yeah, we'll put it over by the other black over here we had. There we go. Hoof. Hoof. It's dark. It is dark. Dark is dark. And this is dark. So we're going to take a very generous amount of water into the bristles. You see the bristles are just swollen with water. I thought you were just getting up early. No. And let's grab just a little bit. Oof. Yeah, this is very, very dark. Wow. That's good. It's good that it goes very, very dark. But, yeah. Yeah, so these colors really, they're not really transparent. They're translucent. So, yeah. Be mindful of that using these. We're looking just for like a little dark spot right up in that area. Yeah. Yeah, we're making it nice and dark now. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for, kids. That's what we're looking for. I'm going to let it creep into the recesses around the gemstone, but I'm putting just a little circular spot right up in the kind of 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock position. Yeah, we're going to build that nice and dark in that space so that when we put the little white spot highlight in there, it really looks like a little transparent gemstone in those spaces. Like amber. That's the whole point, right? Is amber? We're going for amber. Amber. Do another one. Again, when you find something that really kind of works well, it's really hard not to, it's really hard to try and not overdo it. I have that problem all the time. You find something that just looks really cool and you go, oh, that would look really cool this way or that way, and then bang, you overdid it. I'm even running the risk right now of overdoing it. But are they starting to feel like amber gemstones now? Starting to, right? We're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, the big gemstone though, we may have to push some more of that yellow back in, but I think we'll just take like a pure yellow, like a normal opaque yellow, and place those highlights just to finish off that effect. And if need be, we can always glaze it with a transparency just to bring the saturation back if it pushes too bright. But so far with this black, I am liking the look. Oh, excuse me. I kind of want to just outline the stone, give it a bit more of a shadow. And for that, oh, let's do it. Let's do it. We're going to take some Liquitex Flow Aid, and I am just going to apply a little bit, you know what, apply it to my dry palette. Just a little drop right there. And grab a little bit of the Pro Acro Black transparency. And we're going to mix that into that little dollop of... Oh, it doesn't mix very well. Interesting. It gets all chunky. Okay, well, we're not using the Liquitex Flow Aid with that. Wonder why that is. Okay, I guess we're going to stick with just water then. Just going to stick with water. I just want to do a little bit of black lining around the stone. And so I was looking for my Flow Aid to achieve that for me, but apparently this color does not mix well with Liquitex. It's interesting. So basically all we're going to do is very carefully outline the stone. Just create a nice dark shadow around the stone. Just like that. Just like Helps create separation. Helps with the contrast. Sorry if I go quiet, it's because I'm concentrating. Yeah, there we go. So all we did was just outlined a little bit of black around the stones, just to help separate them. Kim, acrylic thinner works with the Pro Acryl? Well, which acrylic thinner? Because Liquitex Floyd is an acrylic thinner. Which thinner are we talking about, bud? Alright, another layer of black. Yeah, we're going to create these nice and contrasty. Yeah, I'm happy with that. We do have to reinforce the highlight in the stone, but that's fine. Just got to do that very carefully. For that, we are going to use some regular opaque yellow, and I think I'll just bust out Citadel. I mean, we could use golden. It's nice and thin. We could use an ink, but I think just regular old flash gets yellow will get the job done. And give it a quick mix. Almost sounds like we're at the dentist's office when I use this. Is it safe? I'm just shaking it up. Dun 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 dun. Grab a little bit. In fact, we probably can throw a little bit of ceramite white into this to create our highlight color as well. We're not using too much of it. We'll find space right there. Right there. Alright. Just a little dampness of the brush. Just to thin the color out ever so slightly, because we do want to maintain the opacity of the color as we layer this on. And again, like I said, if we build it too thin, we can always hit with it with transparency and resaturate it and push it back towards more of a brighter yellow if need be. So, yeah. Right there. Redefining those highlights in the gemstone spaces. And yeah, I've got to reestablish it more on this side. I lost a bit of the crescent shape. We're going to have to lay that out just a couple times. Yeah, we're going to have to do that a couple times just to build that properly. Shall we take a moment? My AK Interactive 3-gen acrylic thinner, and I just tried to mix some Pro Acryl with my Watercolors Flow Improver, and it worked fine, both of them. Have no idea why Liquitex one messes it up. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Couldn't tell you. Because normally with water-based acrylics, you can mix cross lines, right? Now some acrylic lines, they do have a tiny amount of alcohol in them, and I noticed like in the AK thinner, it does smell like it has a slight hint of alcohol in it. Okay. Yep, yep. Yeah, on the big gemstone, it looks a lot better now, right? Since I corrected that. Yeah, that definitely reads more like a gemstone now. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In fact, let's take a little bit of the white and we'll mix that into the yellow. There we go. And very carefully, we will just lay a couple little crescent shapes. Very carefully. As careful as we can. Am I in frame? I'm mostly in frame. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Bottom ones? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do the big one. What is color? Just the tiniest amount. Let's catch just this bottom of the stone. Missed that one up a bit. It's okay, because we can always come back, grab a little bit of our yellow-orange mixture. Just like so. And lay that right across that. And re-blend that out. Fact, let's grab a little bit more white. Let's mix that into the previous, giving us a really pale yellow. We're going to use this like a little dot and just spot those little areas. Just like so. Like that. Let's build up a nice little intensity there. Yeah. Alrighty. What was I gonna do? Alright, I want a bit more of this yellow here. I'm gonna thin this yellow down to a bit of a glaze consistency. And yeah, just like that. I just want to build up a bit more of that yellow. So we're taking the yellow into the glaze consistency just so that we can just marry some of these transitions together. Start with this one here. Actually, it's a little too much color in the brush. Just hit it like this. Yeah. Yep. Oftentimes when if you're trying to really build up a nice gradient, yeah, you do end up having to go back and forth a few times. Usually. Again, though, you can see most of the yellow reads like this direction versus looking down at it looks very dark. Straight on gives you that impression that it's a transparency. All right. One more little final highlight of that bright yellow, very pale yellow. And with this, it's pretty much just a little dot in the bottom corners. Just like that. Just like that. Yep. This one here. Oh, frick. No, I had too much color there. Just draw it out. Yep. Okay. We still got white. Oh, we still have white on our palette. So let's just, let's just grab a little bit of the white. Right there. Just the dampness of the brush to thin the color out. Draw it to a point. Let's dot these stones. I like to do the 2 dot, one small, one big kind of thing. Paint lays down. Trying to be very careful here. You kind of still have to act fairly quickly doing it. If you have the paint overly thin, it can bubble up on you. There you go. Those look like amber gemstones. Looks a bit like amber to me. No? Maybe? Yeah, too bad. Too bad, we're moving on. Alright. So let's continue on. I guess we can play with the scroll for a bit. Yeti bear, I like him. Thank you. Yeah, it's not bad. You know, it looks like a gemstone, no? So, I suppose we can finish off some of the other little details. Yeah, we'll go to the scroll next. We'll work on the scroll next. So for that, I am going to quickly jump back over to Ricard Flesh, slap a little bit onto the palette, and just build the base tone up a bit. It's not quite as solid as I like. Oh, shit. Throw that over there. brushes. Grab a little dampness of the brush. And just go for some of the high points here. Oh shit, there's a comet tail on her other hip over here. Damn it. I didn't see that. I didn't see that. Well, I saw it, I just didn't pay attention to it. I did know it was there. There we go. But yeah, there's another bolt on her hip over here. Damn it. God dang it. Is there one over here? No. Is there one on her cloak? There is. Well, I'm going to have to come... Well, because I think this back piece of her armor, I think that's got to be chrome as well, so it matches up. But yeah, I'm going to have to lay chrome down on this stuff. Yeah. Okay. All right. No problem. It's not a problem. Not a problem. Another quick little layer. Grabbing a very generous amount of water on the bristles. Just thin it way down. I want this to be nice and smooth. It's too much on the brush. Just like so. Like, it's not too big an issue because we're going to end up, laying quite a bit down for the highlights and stuff, so I'm not too concerned about it. But yeah. And let's bust out the Ushabti bone, or Screaming Skull. Yeah, let's use Screaming Skull. I don't think my Screaming Skull on the palette. Actually, yeah, I really need to switch paper out on this because, yeah, she's not hanging on as good. So we'll grab some Screaming Skull. Thin her down just a little bit. And we'll just start laying in some highlights. Actually, you know what? Let's mix it. Let's mix the first color. Right there. Maybe a bit more. Yeah, right there. Yeah, that's the color we like. And it's already thin. So this, we'll just start laying it right in. It's pretty darn thin. That's okay because we're pretty much glazing at this point anyway. Again, if I go quiet, it's because I'm concentrating. I'm trying really hard not to mess this up. really hard. Some of those highlights we're going to have to pick out with a more detailed brush. Just a little bit. Yeah. Now, I definitely don't want this to be as light as her skin, but it might go there. It might. I don't know. We'll see. I am happy with where the gemstones are, though. Yeah. Let's go with just Screaming Skull. Actually, let's mix it in. Make another mixed color. Switch brushes. I get the feeling that as I put all this effort into building these colors up, that as I do this, the lettering is just going to end up messing it all up, and I'll have to build this all up anyway. So maybe I should lay the whatever I intend to do inside the letters. I should probably do that now, as I'm saying this out loud. Yeah, I probably should do those letters now. So, for that, we are going to use, I think that's Screaming Skulls. You know what? I'm going to use my titanium white, golden titanium white. Slap a little bit onto my palette. Use a little Liquitex thinner or Flow Aid, and apply it to the letters so that I can build the highlights and such around the letters properly. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll slap a little bit of white right there. Probably could have just did this on the dry palette, but whatever. Drop a Flow Aid. It's probably going to fall into the other colors now. Yeah, it's falling right into the ceramite. Oops. And start doing letters. Okay. Some areas just got a little too much color on. Correct minute. There we go. Give that a moment to dry. We'll probably hit it again. Just for giggles. Oh, excuse me. All right. Jump back into the white. Grab a little bit more. Just to make it nice and solid. It's pretty solid already, but more solid. All right. Next, hit it with a dryer. You know, I just realized I probably could just hit the other runes on her as well. You know, I'll do the one behind her head. Let's see how that looks. I'm just going to hit that rune very, very carefully. At least I think it's a rune. I don't know. Just like that. Make it in white and behind her. Skirt, we'll do the sword next too. Why not? I mean, we're already here. We already got the color out. There we go. There we go. So with the flow aid, it just makes it easier for the color to fall within the recesses. One of my favorite tools, painting miniatures. Just makes life a lot easier, especially when you want the paint to just fall within recesses and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. go. There we go. All right. Give that a moment to dry. Yeti Bear. I just got delivery from eBay of some War Machine Crix minis. I don't play it, but love the undead steampunk vibe. Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're very, very cool. A lot of the older sculpts are pretty fun. I like the skeleton duders with the pistols and everything like that. They're really cool. Yeah, there's some fun sculpts in the Crix line. Definitely. 100%. All right, we're busting out the Eidolon Purple Clear. Give it a quick mix. Oh, yeah. We'll slap a little bit onto the palette because we're going to thin it as we're going to build up to our desired kind of glowing intensity. Oop. Yeah, I'll slap a little bit right there. Yeah. Switch back over. Just the dampness of the brush. Well, actually, it's pretty swollen with water, really. And give it a little mix. And basically, I'm just going to touch areas. I'm going to touch the high points and low points of symbols, trying to leave mostly white in its cores. So something like along the lines of this. Color there, so we're going to draw it out as we're not looking to build it all up in one go. So we're just going to siphon that out. Yeah. Just like that. It's hard to see the purple, but that's okay. It is pretty darn close to what I want. Now I'm thinking that maybe I'll do it in a singular gradient, just in one direction. So I'll have kind of a deeper purple at the, like white at the bottom of the letters, and then go to a deeper purple up. Yeah, maybe we'll build it in one direction like that. Yeah, give it a try. Let's see how it looks. If we hate it, we can always paint over it. So I'm going to hit the rune above her head. Not added any flow improver or flow aid to this, so I do have to try to be careful as I possibly can. Yeah. It's hard to see the purple value, but it's there and I'm digging it. I am digging it. Yeah, you don't really see the transition on the camera, but it's there. It's subtle, but it's there. So we're treating it basically like a glaze, and so I'm just pushing the deeper color to where I want that transition to build. That's not bad. I'm liking the idea. I was initially going to go with like a magenta tone, but in the last couple months I've used magenta so much that let some other colors have their day kind of thing, you know? I mean, I do like me some magenta, but, you know, can't always be about the magenta. I mean, it can, but it doesn't have to. Not too worried if I go outside the letters, just because I know that I'm going to end up covering it up anyway. Yeah, so far that looks okay. I might even come in with like Nagroth Knight and deepen that value up some more. So, yeah, and on the symbol above her head, I am liking the value. It's looking okay. What's up? What are you laughing about? What's your deal, kid? Alright. Let's grab a little bit more. Let's push this right up into the corners. Yeah. Yeah. It's looking all right. Yeah. I am mostly okay with that. Mostly. Grab a bit more color. Yeah, I do like it with a bit more of that purple reading back inside the rune. Kind of tempted just to hit the whole rune now with just the purple. Tempted to, anyway. Jabba's Left Nut. Do you always use a wet palette when painting like this? When I'm kind of really concentrating, yeah. Always, I mean, it's situational. Like a wet palette, dry palette versus wet palette. A lot of people have this tendency to think that it's one or the other. Use both. So, yeah. Whenever I'm doing, a lot of color blends and mixtures and stuff like that, yeah, wet palette, just so that I can preserve my mixtures a little longer, especially if I've got to get up, do something, and what have yous. You know what? I'm gonna grab Nagrath Knight. Yeah, let's use some Nagrath Knight. Why not? Yeah. It is warm in here, but shouldn't be making my wet palette really this dry. I'm going to mix it over here. Yeah, because I'm going to use some Floyd, because I'm going to thin this way down. In fact, let's add just a bit of medium to that. We'll use some army or medium. It's more color than I need, but that's okay. Make sure it's nice and thoroughly mixed. And so basically with this, all I'm going to do is I'm going to try and touch the upper portions of the letters, and hopefully the capillary action, it creeps into other areas, forming a more definable edge within the letters. I'm not really looking for like a full-on glow, because essentially the armor, it glows under the light, right? So I'm not too concerned about that kind of effect. Yeah, that's what I want right there. So all I'm doing is I'm just catching just the tops of the letters, but as the color pulls around, it creeps further and further into some of the details. Just a bit. It's just a little coaxing. That's all we're looking for. Should be a little easier to see the letters now. But yeah. It looks messy right now just because there's some color on the surface of the ribbon, but we're going to fix that in a minute. Take a little bit of this color. Let's hit the weapons and the other symbols. Whatever the hell this symbol is. Yeah, on camera it's kind of hard to see that gradient, but it's there. It almost hints at magenta, but it's not. That's just because it's purple, right? So. Yeah. That ain't bad at all. In fact, I'm going to take a little bit of the color. Let's see how this looks. I'm going to use just a bit of it, thin it way, way down. I don't even know if you guys can see that. Yeah, it's really, really thin. I'm gonna hit the icon above her head a little bit more, just to get a bit more of this color happening. Yeah, there. I wonder why it's so hard to see the purple values. Yeah. Because I like that so much, we're going to hit the rest of the letters. Just really make them stand out. Yeah. Just like that. Alright. Hit it with the air dryer. Speed this drying up. Time we got here. Holy camoli, 1:30. Should be good. Alright, we're going to come back into the Screaming Skull. Grab a bit of water. Yeah, my wet palette's lifting from the towel. So, yeah, I definitely need to change my wet palette. Just redefining some of these shapes on here. I'm actually thinking now I might want to push a little bit more deeper brown. Take something like snakebite leather. Just push those shadows a bit more. We may. We may. We more than likely will. Not just may. I think it's very likely. Again, if I go quiet, it's because I'm concentrating. Don't talk to me. Just cleaning up the lettering. Making it a little bit more, I don't know. I guess legible is not the right word, but I guess kind of legible. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to deepen it up. Might go with more of a brown. From a distance, it looks okay, but I don't know. I suppose once there's a cloak there, and it kind of frames in behind it, right? It'll be okay. Let me see. God damn it! How's that plug in? There we go. Yeah, once that cloak is in place, that'll look better, I suppose. Yeah. Because the cloak is going to be a deep purple, like the handles. So that should be okay. I'm still going to put some shadows in there, but yeah. Just build up this initial transition with some Screaming Skull. Find some of these letters. And just we're neatening it all up. It's making those symbols look a little bit more legible. Again, I'm not going for an intense kind of glowing effect, but there is a color gradient going on in those letters and then in the symbols on her weapons and above her head. The purple values actually help kind of add a bit more gravity. Because she's so bright with the silver armor, she feels like she is already kind of floating because it's so light and so bright. But mind you, I mean, once you throw like a shadow over it, the model just disappears, right? You know, it's because it reflects so much light. But that's the fun. That's the fun in this. Another layer of Screaming Skull. I think it's very, very thin, so I've just been glazing up this transition on here. I'll work on the back side a bit. This stuff's probably hidden by the cloak, but paint it anyway. A little bit. You know what? I am going to break out the. Let's use snakebite leather. I'm going to use snakebite leather. I'm going to shade that scroll work. Oh, perfect. There it is. Perfect. First grab. nice and mixed. Probably just use it right on the dry palette, I suppose. Doesn't really need to be thinned with the wet palette. So I'll take a little bit. I'll find space on the palette here. Grab a little helping of water. Thin this down. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, and we're going to push this transition towards the body, right? So we're going to go like, we'll start in the back, I guess. Just to make sure that we're heading in the right direction. We can always hide this. So I just want to push a little bit of the shadow right here. Push it all the way back into this space. Try not to let too much pooling occur. I want this edge to be darker though. A little more separation. A little bit. I'm thinking maybe snakebite leather might be just a little bit light, but we can come in always with something like Sigor brown or something. In fact, yeah, separate it this way. Do the underside here. Doing is we're just pushing a bit of shadow on that underside, and the scroll that's kind of underneath the other one, we're going to create a little bit more separation there, just a bit. Create just a bit here. In fact, the warmer values may help us, with the purple values going on. Just a bit. Again, it's really challenging when doing this kind of thing to not just, completely go ham on it and, just lay a whole bunch of color down. Grab a bit more snakebite. Not thinning it at all this time, although I am going to pull a little bit of color out of the bristles. And yeah, push this color this way. I'm going to be honest, snakebite leather on top of the chrome actually looks really cool. It actually has a very cool tone to it. Like cool as in, oh wow, that's cool. Not cool as in color or temperature. That's too much. Feather that off. And there we go. A little more there. On the ends. Just a little bit. We might have to hit that with a darker brown, but right now it's okay. I like where this is going. Okay, a bit more of the shadow here. This is a bit of a challenge, but that's okay. Laying a darker edge on that bottom facet of the scroll, just to help it along a little bit. I think that's what it's missing is that warm quality, because I want it to be a little different from her flesh, even though we started basically painting them the same way. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of the water here. Thin this down. I'm going to glaze these shadows in a little bit more as well. I don't want to over thin this, because then it may creep into the letters, and I don't want that. Yeah, I think I like it slightly warmer. On camera, the letters almost look blue. It's a purple value in there, but just the way the color appears on camera, it looks more blue. It's funny. Alright, we're just going to grab the last little bit of pure snakebite, and we're just going to really define the shadow tone underneath here, carefully as we can. Yeah, that's not bad at all. It pushes it really, really dark. On camera, it looks really dark, and it is, but it's still brown. It's not black. But I definitely like that better, rather than the initial kind of light brown tone we had going on, kind of like her flesh. So I'm going to push some of these tones back here to make them nice and dark. Just because Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Time we at here? Oh, almost 2 hours. Almost. I don't know about you guys, but I'm having fun. I am. Yeah, with this much warmer tone, it feels more like an older parchment now. And because we've done that, it doesn't feel like the similar colors we used for her flesh. And in fact, her flesh feels very separate now. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I am A-okay. Dee-dee-doo. Where'd it go? Kim, she's starting to look good. Starting. Are you doing the big orc boss on the steed thing? Don't know. Figure that out when we get there, bud. I'm not sure. Not sure. Could not give you a definitive answer that yes or no. I'm going to grab some Akar flesh. Find a nice little spot where the paper's still wet over here. Lay a lid onto my palette. Just like so. Take a little lamy and medium. Give it a nice thorough mix. And we're just going to reestablish some of the more base colors along the scroll work. Let's kind of build up some of the highlights here. Because now when I started pushing some of the darker tones to the bottom of the scroll, I want to push some of these lighter tones above, and that will help where the darker letters appear, and so it should give an interesting look. Basically, it'll go light to dark on the main face of the scroll, but inside each letter it'll go dark to light. Kind of opposites. Sort of. Just evening out some of the values. Creating a bit more of a gradient on it. On camera, it almost looks like like leather or something. To the eye, it's not that contrasty. Not quite, anyway. Backside. Yeah, we'll push a bit of color. Blending it out a little bit more. Yeah, that's actually starting to look okay. I'm actually being okay with this. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Have to come back in with the Screaming Skull again, though. I saw some Screaming Skull going over here. Not really. Can I mix any of that in? No. Not really. Nope. Definitely have to change my wet palette out. Basically just pushing a little bit more highlight into there. So a little shadow that falls there. Yeah. I guess technically on this bend here would be a bit of a highlight as well. Again, probably because of all this monkeying around I've done, I probably have to reestablish my letters again a bit. But that's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I am mostly okay with that. I kind of want to just hit the letters now with a dark purple. I don't know how well it's going to work though, or look. Because as I get lighter with the value, the letters start to fall back a bit. And so I see on camera they still look really contrasty. To the eye though, they don't. Versus if I just pick them out in a darker color. Hmm. And I would like it to stand out a bit more. Let's grab in a little bit more of this. Let's push this little edge highlight. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to darken those letters up, I think. I thinks. Time we had here? 2 o'clock, or 2 hours. I think we'll stop her there. Maybe. Nah, screw it. Let's go. Let's keep going. We're going to bust out the Screaming Skull. I'm just going to chuck this onto the palette. Do. Shouldn't be too much. Yeah, I'll put it right here. No thinners. Well, other than what's on the wet palette. Because with this, we're just going to do a bit of defining. And I think I'm going to try and do just a bit of a highlight in the letters. If I like how that looks, then I think I might deepen up the letters so that and re-establish that edge highlight on the letters. I think. Scrap a little bit. Basically all this is just an edge highlight. On the tails of the scroll though, I am pushing the color a little bit more. Just like that. Just so it tapers to a nice bright color. But I think we'll do a little bit of edge highlights on the letters, maybe, possibly. Still undecided whether or not I want to hit the letters with a darker color. I'll try it on just the upper portions. Still got some purple here. This is Nagroth Night. Try it over here. Too much. Blood out. Yeah, I like it a little bit more defined like that. I initially had this idea of it more glowing in the text, but no, I like it more defined like that. Yeah, it looks better. Just using my hair dryer. Okay, let's jump back over to some Screaming Skull. Let's see if we can't just do a little bit of edge highlights on the letters. Or some of the more prominent letters, I suppose. Like here. I suppose we could probably just easily dry brush this as well. Probably would have been just as easy. Edge highlight here. Oi! Who dat? Thank you for following Legacy F5. Legacy 5? Redefining some of these highlights here. Just a bit. Yeah, in hindsight, I'm thinking I probably could have just gotten away with just a quick dry brush on these, rather than painstakingly picking out the details. It's not like we're doing this for competition or anything like that, right? I mean, unless we are, I don't know. I don't think we are. I don't think we are. Just doing another little edge over here. Just like so. Actually, I have this. Yeah, this facet right here. This edge right here. Yeah, there we go. Nice and bright. Yeah, we probably spent a little too much time mucking about with the scroll work, but I'm mostly okay with that, I think. The runes and glyphs, I think, are okay. I like that the Oi! Oh, somebody else. It's on the YouTube. I'm not on YouTube, am I? Yeah, I'm much happier now with the scroll not being the same value as your skin. I'm liking that more. We got the amber gemstones done on the Sigmar comets. Yeah, we got a bit done. Got a little bit done. And so I think with that, we're going to stop for the moment. I'm going to get something to eat. I may return later. I usually say that just because you never know. I might. Then I usually end up getting into something else, but, you know. Well, I should probably just, I'll just change that later. But, anywho, I want to thank y'all for tuning in and following and commenting and all that other gibbly gook. I'll see you guys later. And, yeah, keep painting, people. Keep painting. Take care of those brushes. They'll take care of you. And I will see you guys later. Dun dun. I need theme music. Where could I find some theme music for this? Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.